Debate is between Mr. Owaisi. Much as I am tempted to, the debate is between you and Nalin Kohli. Nalin Kohli's counter to you, sir. Hear each other carefully, viewers. The hashtag is One Nation, One Law. On this live debate tonight, you can give us your views on which side is winning, Mr. Kohli or Mr. Owaisi. Yes, Mr. Kohli's response. And by the way, Mr. Kohli, 1 minute, 1 minute. Let me ask you this squarely, because the question here is about the true idea of secularism, which means, Mr. Kohli, no preferential treatment, but treating all faiths equally. So, Mr. Kohli, A, will you commit that a uniform civil code will mean the rewriting of the Hindu Marriage Act of 1956, Hindu Succession Act of 1956, Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act of 1956, Hindu Adoptions and Maintenance Act of 1956, despite amendments and progressive steps taken to improve upon them all over the years? And how would you, Mr. Kohli, address the argument that the template, I think what you need to do is convince Mr. Owaisi tonight and a lot of people tonight that the template of the Hindu code, you see, if it is to be a uniform civil code, then the template of the Hindu code should not be used as the template for the uniform civil code for all Indians. Please also address that question. Mr. Kohli, please, that question and the counters, please, as you wish, to take one first.
So I'll start with a few opening comments, then get into some counters, and I'll certainly answer that.
I need to check the audio. I'm sorry. I need to urgently. Sorry. 1 second. We need to fix this one-on-one debate. Please start again, sir. Sorry, we had an audio problem. Go ahead, Mr. Kohli. Go on.
Yes, are you okay with the audio?
Yeah, fine now. Go on.
If you're okay, I'll just like to make a few arguments. Thank you. So, Mr. Goswami, I'm going to start with a few fundamental questions, not fundamentalist questions, and then I'm going to take this to the next level in terms of what are the counters, and then answer your question head on. So let's go to the very top. The Constitution of India, after the Constitutional Assembly, goes ahead, it's adopted by this country in 1950. Adopted absolutely totality. That's the Constitution of India, which creates an identity for every Indian irrespective of their faith. This Constitution has its own rights, duties, directive principles, etc., etc. That Constitution of India offers, and we have spoken about the rights of equality, Article 21, Article 14, you've referred to Article 13 as Mr. Jaitley has. So the question here comes out fundamentally, that when you have a constitution, and in that constitution you do have also Article 14, and you have the Directive Principles of State Policy, Article 44, can anyone, any Indian, say that I will choose a part of the constitution because I like it, it's convenient to me, it fits in the scheme of how I think, and say the B part of it, even if it's a desirable objective, I'm not going to accept, I'm going to reject, I don't wish to talk about it, I need to discard it. I think this is an insult to the Constitution. I think it is disservice to every Indian, irrespective whether that Indian is a Hindu, Muslim or anyone, in 1950 who chose to be part of a secular country.
No, so how does this apply in the context of what Mr. Owaisi has said? How is what you are saying? What are you accusing Mr. Owaisi of? Are you saying that Mr. Owaisi is disregarding a part of the Constitution? Please address the gentleman who you are on the debate with. No, what is your point? Are you responding to him? Please address him directly.
Clearly saying so. My point is unequivocal, clear, focused, that Mr. Owaisi, under Article 19, in which he claims has the right to speak his mind, within reasonable restrictions, of course, but at the same time, you can't discard the existence of Article 44, which says that the state shall move towards making a uniform civil code. And even before the very articles that they claim about or anyone argues about, the Constitution's preamble, which is the opening statement of the Constitution, that intent is unequivocal when it speaks about justice, liberty, equality of status and opportunity. So, Mr. Goswami, why are we in this discussion? This discussion about uniform civil code comes because primarily today in the Supreme Court there is a petition on the triple talaq. The triple talaq petition is not brought by the BJP, not brought by the Modi government, not brought by any one of us, the RSS or anyone. It's brought by women from the Muslim community who say that this practice of triple talaq, as it is being followed in India, goes against the spirit of Article 14. And they point out that Muslim countries in the neighborhood, beyond the neighborhood, have already brought in rights that protect women. So therefore, this uniform civil code is a larger discussion. Is there a law today? What is the detail of that law to be? Will not Parliament talk about it? But what do we have? We have a situation where the All India Muslim Personal Law Board goes out, demonizes the government, demonizes the Prime Minister, trashes the Law Commission, says we will not be a part of it, we will not respond to it. The basic fundamental question is that in a democracy, should there be no discussion? In a democracy, if you believe by democratic ideals, are you going to run down even an advisory body like the Law Commission just because you feel that you would not like to discuss something that is enshrined in the objectives in terms of what is desirable for the country in the Constitution? So I think what Mr. Owaisi and many of his colleagues are trying to do are trying to create a khichdi situation or a mixy situation.
But he says that you are trying to do. No, he says it's backdoor entry for the Hindu Rashtra.
Confuse everything.
He says you answer the question here right now. He says it's a backdoor entry for the Hindu Rashtra. If it is a backdoor entry for the Hindu Rashtra, you are definitely avoiding that issue. I can also argue on bits and parts of the Constitution, Mr. Kohli.
And why should there be?
Why should there be? Why should there be? Because you're not answered my question in the first place.
Straight head on.
No,
India's identity is unequivocally secular as defined by the Constitution of India. And that Constitution of India creates an Indian identity. I may be a Hindu, Sanatan Hindu, whatever. Mr. Owaisi may be a Muslim. A third person can be anything. But our identity as an Indian comes first. And that identity flows from the Constitution. Our other identities are subsumed into that primary identity as an Indian. And if you are having an identity as an Indian first, then there has to be the basic commitment that the Constitution of India